Hey guys, what is happening, and welcome to today's video. So, interesting thing to discuss. Did the Freedom Convoy win? So without further ado guys, let's do this. Alright guys, welcome back. So before we get started, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Now, funny thing is guys, it's starting to warm up here. The snow's starting to melt. All these different trees that I'm walking amongst right now, they're not going to be back for another 3 months. They come back in June, believe it or not. Calgary, unfortunately for me, is just not my favorite place at all. Like, the climate here is pretty brutal. It's a kind of depressing place because now we've just got to look at dead trees. Well, not dead trees, but hibernating trees and brown stuff everywhere, and yeah, garbage everywhere as well. But anyway guys, I wanted to talk about the Freedom Convoy because, as you know, it's gone out of the news and what has really happened with that, because it was an incredibly interesting and great movement, I thought, for freedom and liberty, which I never expected to happen within Canada. Now, the interesting thing is, everything's died down and gone quiet about that, but the mandates are starting to get lifted everywhere. Isn't that funny? It is extremely weird, isn't it, guys, that it lines up very closely with what happened with the Freedom Convoy. Isn't that a coincidence? Just so happens the science lined up. But isn't it funny, guys, because, you know, that convoy actually did a lot, I believe, and it really showed, and Canadians came out in massive support. Mostly, not everyone supported the convoy, and that's fine. There's always going to be people who don't support different movements and whatever, but a majority of people did. And the way that was handled was disgraceful by the Prime Minister of Canada. And I think he showed a lot of people around the world his true colours, that he is just an authoritarian dictator. And even though he pretends we're in a democracy, when it really comes down to it, he'll throw his toys out the pram just like any other dictator and enact emergency powers to undermine the Canadian Constitution. Now, for a lot of people, that probably changed their view on Justin Trudeau, and the polls suggest it, even though I'm not a big believer in the polls, because if you look at the way they do them, they're not really that accurate. But that's what the polls say anyway, and I would expect in this case that that's true. But what has also happened is Canada's Prime Minister is using propaganda in the Ukraine crisis. He's exploiting that now to cover up his bad image, because you know that the Prime Minister sees all these polls and everything. Trudeau sees them, and effectively he's looking at them thinking, hey, how can we reset these? Just go all out on Ukraine, and we'll just run a story. Everything will just be about Ukraine and sanctions, and that you're doing everything that you possibly can, and then it will change people's view. And that's exactly what's happened, unfortunately. And it just goes to show how in such a little amount of time, the media can change everybody's perspective and manipulate them exactly like they're doing right now here in Canada. Now, the thing is, guys, I want to just make sure that you know this, but I don't support the war in Ukraine. I don't support Russia. I just don't support any war, to be totally honest with you. So I'm completely anti-war when it really comes down to it. So I don't like war. People being killed, just fighting over land seems barbaric in my head. But that aside, with everything that's happening in Ukraine, that being used and exploited for political gain, it's just kind of a joke. And you know, it's the same with President Biden and Boris Johnson, who are also going through a really bad time. Their approval ratings were rock bottom. Boris, it was because of the Partygate, and Biden, it was just because he has just done absolutely terrible things since he's got in power, and inflation has skyrocketed. But the thing is, guys, there's no great deity solution to this. Like, there's no person who is going to come out and is going to change everything and everything's going to be good. And I know a lot of people want to believe that. And believe me, like, at times I want to believe that there is some sort of way out of this that doesn't involve pain for everybody, that isn't going to involve masses losing their homes and their jobs, because that's not something I want to happen by any stretch of the imagination. But the thing is, greed always leads into these traps, and we've seen it throughout history, time and time again, that this has happened. So I think really what I'm trying to say and put out in this video is you have to be very careful what you consume, because what you consume is going to affect your opinions and your views if you don't actively look at it in a way as an independent observer. And that's why I'm always very critical of anything that I read, because the fact is, guys, there is so much propaganda out there. It is quite scary these days. The thing is, guys, everything that's happened over the past couple of months has really just solidified a concrete foundation of what I thought was there the whole time, is that you've got this house that is full of metal and heavy steel and everything like that, and it's propped up on a stick foundation. Now, I know that was a terrible way of putting it, but it's really the truth. It's the truth of what it is. This country, people don't understand, the foundation of this country is just built on sticks, essentially, that can snap at any moment. And the thing is, guys, we're coming into precarious times globally, I believe, where currency wars, real wars are becoming more probable. And it's a time to reevaluate what you want your future to really be like. Because at the end of the day, guys, our future and the way we live our life, we only get one shot at this, in my opinion. So you've got to live your best life, and if you're not happy with something or somewhere or someone, then you need to try and change that, be whatever that is and whatever that means for you. The thing is, guys, I really hope this resonates with you, because I just want to get it across that, you know, even though things are going to collapse, the thing is there are opportunities elsewhere. And you just need to look through the lens of opportunity to realize that. And I know that a lot of people are going to try and see it from the bright side, but I'm a realist, so I just see things how they are. You know, I know a lot of people in my life who are optimistic all the time, and they set themselves up for failure being like that. So the thing is, I just like to be the realist in the room, because that way I don't disappoint myself. In fact, I surprise myself a lot. So anyway, guys, this journey continues as always on this YouTube channel. And I thank you so much for being here and for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys. Bye.